5 years after the breakup, Lucas's call arrives out of nowhere. Serena, be at City Hall in 5 days to get legally married. Our wedding will take place at Hillcroft Estate, the century wedding I promised you. My brain stalls. In the shock I blurt, "Didn't we break up 5 years ago?" A snort crackles down the line. "Break up? I never agreed. You flew home the moment you heard I was getting married, right? Relax, you're the bride. Taylor, I need you to be generous. She stayed with me through the 1,800+ nights you were gone. I trust you'll treat her kindly." I roll my eyes and cut the call. Transparent comment bubbles float across my vision. She left without a word for 5 years. Lucas sounds tough, but his heart is shredded. He leaked the fake wedding to Lydia just to stage a grand one for her. The second she lands, he comes running. Where was Lucas all these years? I already have a devoted husband, twins, the perfect family. Who wants his dried-up dog turd of a proposal? Before we continue, subscribe to this channel and tell us where you're listening from. I jab the power button and toss the phone aside, letting it drown in unread texts and missed calls. Past midnight, a steady knocking starts. "Open up." "Serena, how long are you going to stay this bratty? The racket is unbearable." I yank open the cliffside mansion door. Lucas staggers half a step, catching himself. His gaze locks on my face, schemes down my body, and he sneers. "TSK, without me you've ended up like this." Only then do I realize the loungewear I threw on in haste is my mother's, drab in color, comfy in fabric. I start to speak, but he talks over me. "Fine, since you know you were wrong and you've come home, I'll overlook your impulsive little vanishing act." His smile dims, tone cooling. "But I can't forgive you for slapping Lydia. We can marry only because she stepped aside. I expect you to apologize. Lydia is gentle and kind. She looked after me while you were away. Because of you I can't give her a title, so I want you to treat her like a sister and give her a family together with us." A herd of alpacas stampedes in my head, yet my face stays blank. I'm no longer the naive girl who danced to his tune. Lucas isn't worth a single heartbeat. If I show anger, he'll swear it's jealousy. "Lucas, what makes you think I have to have you? Did it ever occur to you that 5 years is long enough for me to get married and have kids?" His gaze slides to my waist, he chuckles. "In our circle everyone knows you're Lucas's woman. You've been spoiled and bratty since childhood. Who but me would put up with you? Serena, your family's bankrupt now. No house will take you as lady of the house. Who besides me would marry you?" Huh, I find it hilarious and laugh out loud. We were social equals, matched since childhood. Though it started as a family arrangement, we were happy. He swore he'd host a once-in-a-century wedding at Hillcroft after graduation. Before commencement street racing, he killed Lydia's grandma in a crash. The dying woman entrusted Lydia to him, and a tale stuck to him ever after. Lydia needled me until I snapped and slapped her. Lucas hugged Lydia, disappointment dripping. "You know how pitiful she is, her only relative is gone. I'm all she has. Can't you give her a break? She's a little sister to me. You'll be her sister-in-law. Stop being so petty. I must have spoiled you. Cool off." Cool off meant 3 months of silence while he paraded Lydia everywhere. The whole city knew. Lucas dumped me for a new flame. I left a message, "Let's break up," and flew to Paris for consolation. A vacation that handed me my real husband. "You laughed. That proves you still love me. Why else smile?" He reaches to stroke my cheek. I step aside, killing the smile. "I'm naturally cheerful. Sorry for the misunderstanding, Mr. Hawthorne." He sighs fondly. Still the same playful Serena. "Once we're married you won't dodge my touch. How much you love me, crystal clear. 5 years wait, and I'll give you the perfect wedding." As the nonsense snowballs, I stamp on his instep and grind. While he yelps, I slam and bolt the door in one breath, regretting only that I wore flats, not stilettos. Through the heavy panel, I leave him a line. "Lucas, get lost. We ended ages ago." New comment bubbles pop. Good news, male lead got a mouth. Bad news, wish someone had sewn it shut. Now I see why she ran. May he stay wifeless forever. Even I want to slap him. Let the heroine shine alone, please. Lucas studies the shoe print, looking enlightened. "Shy today? Fine, I won't come in. Tomorrow I'll send the wedding gown for you to try." Lydia picked it. It fits her perfectly. "Your figures are close and you haven't gained weight, so it should suit you." My upbringing forbids profanity. I suddenly regret refusing my husband's escort. Coming home solo was idiotic. I kicked the door to shut him up. "Jordan." "Serena, rein in that temper. As future Mrs. Hawthorne, you can't embarrass the family. Learn from Lydia. Business has slumped these 2 years. My parents retired to enjoy grandparenting while managers run the company. Tonight the mansion is empty, Otherwise, I'd order him thrown out. Lucas, Lydia's so perfect, marry her instead. I mean every word. They deserve each other. Keep your lid on someone else's pot. His laugh drifts in again. Still jealous. How many times must I say you're the only one? I won't return Lydia's feelings. Behave and wait for the gown, my bride. Footsteps fade, leaving me drained. Fine. In a few days, Mom and Dad fly back with the kids. Pierce will come too. Once Lucas sees them, he'll back off. At dawn, the Hawthorns deliver the gown boxed. I don't open it. Having worn the world's only custom wedding gown tailored for me, why care about a hand-me-down? Lucas's assistant Shane hands me an engraved invitation. Bride's side. Lydia printed, scratched out, Serena inked above. I smile, toss the card back to Shane, and shut the door. Riley, I think you've got the wrong address. Send the wedding gown to Lydia. I'm sure she'll be thrilled. Shane's face turned chalk white. Miss Vance, this was always supposed to be President Hawthorne's wedding to Lydia. You're the one who barged in and made him change his mind, and now you're playing saint. I honestly don't see what he sees in you. He actually hurt someone as kind and wonderful as Lydia for your sake. As expected, stupidity is contagious when you spend too long in polluted air. I ignored Shane barking behind me and strode away. After all these years abroad, I'd craved Pearl's private kitchen dishes. Murphy's Law must have been in a mood. My car died halfway, so I hailed a cab and rolled up to Pearl's entrance just in time to see Lucas step out of his own car. He lifted a brow. You return my wedding gown, then follow me to Pearl the very next minute. Serena, could you be any more contradictory? I get that you still care, but trailing me is pathetic. You resent Lydia, but if I'd wanted her, we'd already be married. I rolled my eyes and walked past him toward the door. Lucas jogged up and caught my arm. Stop the act. I saw you climb out of that taxi. Let me guess, the Vance family's bankrupt and you're too broke to keep a car? I'm not belittling you, but you can't even afford lunch here. If you're trying to save face, don't come begging me when the bill arrives. Our revenues had dipped, sure, but we could still cover a meal. He saw one cab ride and jumped straight to financial collapse. His logic circuits needed rewiring. Unclenching my fists, I kept my voice level. You should eat more walnuts. Brain food. Lucas beamed as if he'd decoded a love code. So you still remember I like walnuts? Fine, I'll let it slide. Since you're here, come in. My buddies are waiting, Lydia too. Apologize to her in front of everyone, and we'll wipe the slate clean. I withdrew the foot I'd just planted inside Pearl. No thanks. Haute cuisine is wasted on that face. As I turned, someone blocked my path. Sis, why leave the moment you see me? Gone was Lydia's old thrift store look. She was decked out like an heiress, teetering on sky-high stilettos just to reach my eye level. She threw Lucas a pitiful glance, then faced me. Are you angry about the invitation, sis? You vanished for 5 years. When Lucas suddenly announced a wedding, everyone assumed I was the bride. That's why the names were misprinted. Blame me. I can't control my feelings. 5 years by his side felt like a lifetime. But since Lucas loves you, I'm willing to give him back. A single heartbroken tear slid down her cheek. Lydia, don't cry. Lucas folded her into his arms and glared at me. Serena, I thought you'd grown up. You're still this unreasonable? I haven't said a word and she's already sobbing. I met his gaze, frost in my eyes. He faltered, softened his tone. You grew up pampered. You don't understand how fragile Lydia is. Your mere attitude wounds her. As the elder sister, you should apologize and take care of her. I curved my lips in a cold smile. Sister? I'm an only child. Quit claiming relatives. And did I somehow orphan her? From what I recall, you were the one who ran the red light and killed. Shut it. His face darkened. If you still dream of marrying into the Hawthorne family, stop this tantrum right now. Jamie, what's so special about Serena? She ghosted you 5 years ago. You drank yourself sick. If Lydia hadn't found you, you'd have a hole in your stomach by now. Yeah, Jamie, we saw how good Lydia was to you. She waited 5 damn years. In our book, she's the only sister-in-law we'll ever accept. Serena, if I were you, I'd vanish. You dumped Jamie. Now you can't stand seeing him happy with Lydia. You came here purposely to wreck things. Disgusting. Lucas's band of cronies, wondering why the couple hadn't entered the private dining room, stumbled upon our standoff and instantly formed a united front against me. Snuggled in Lucas's arms, Lydia's eyes were red, a lone tear quivering on her lashes. She slid the jadeite bangle off her wrist and offered it with reluctant grace. Sis, Mrs. Hawthorne gave this to me, saying only the Hawthorne daughter-in-law may wear it. Today I return it to its rightful owner. Rowan pushed it back onto her arm. If my mother gave it to you, it's yours. Don't belittle yourself. Lydia's lips lifted in triumph until Lucas added, "Don't worry about Serena. I bought a top-grade imperial jade boulder. I'll have it carved into a bangle for her as compensation." My own smile froze. I inhaled, slow and deliberate. "I'm married. I have 2 children." Silence dropped like a guillotine. Unruffled, Lucas stepped away from Lydia and sauntered toward me. "Serena, jokes in poor taste don't suit you. I ran a background check. Your marital status is single. No kids. Or are you claiming you ran off 5 years ago pregnant and delivered my twins?" His gang burst into raucous laughter. Lydia furtively stamped her heel. I fished out my phone. Time to introduce the adorable Chloe Balls. As if on cue, a video call bubble popped up. I tapped accept, and 2 identical plump dumplings filled the screen. "Mommy!" Twin toddler voices rang out, instantly hijacking every adult gaze. Lucas stopped breathing. He snatched the phone and stared, transfixed. They looked barely 2, nowhere near 5. "Uncle, who are you? Can you give Mommy her phone back?" Chase blinked at the strange man. Lucas's breath came in ragged spurts, hands shaking. "Who is your mother?" "Mommy is Mommy." "Silly brother, Mommy's name is Yaya." Chloe waved tiny fists. Crack! The phone hit the pavement, screen black. Meanwhile, in the live chat window, all hell broke loose. Holy crap, did the hero just get greenlit? If this were a secret babies trope, those kids would be 4 or 5. Do the math. Relax, it's a burn the husband saga. The babies are just plot speed bumps, probably a test. Oh my gosh, they're adorable little machi. Annie wants to bite. My only worry. Had the sudden cutoff scared Chase and Chloe? I scooped up the phone and hammered the power button, still dead. Glancing at Lucas frozen in agony, I swung my hand. Slap! Crisp, echoing. Lucas stared at me in disbelief. "Serena, you actually dare to hit me. For the sake of 2 bastards, you raised your hand against me?" Smack! Another slap. He grabbed my wrist, gloom pooling in his eyes. "So you really couldn't stand the loneliness the second we split? You immediately fell into bed with some. Tell me, who is he? Any man who dares touch my woman will beg for death." I studied the hysterical creature in front of me, and suddenly felt nothing but fatigue. Affection offered too late is cheaper than weeds, let alone this nauseating counterfeit. When I stayed silent, Lucas seemed to have a revelation. Contempt twisted his face. "Serena, don't tell me some loser knocked you up with 2 bastards and then dumped you?" Lydia seized the moment, coiling her hand around his free arm. "Sister, how could you have so little self-respect? Luke waited 5 long years for you, and this is how you repay him. Someone like you doesn't deserve him. I used to think letting go would make Luke happy, but now," she raised her chin, "I'm not stepping aside." Lucas's entourage chimed in like a chorus. "Jamie, a shameless woman like this would turn the Hawthorne name into a punchline. Don't marry her. Get lost, Jamie. Only Lydia's devotion is worthy of the blockbuster wedding you're planning." Lucas squeezed his eyes shut. His brows knotted, relaxed, and he finally let go of my wrist. He threw my hand aside, interlaced his fingers with Lydia's, and lifted their clasped hands for all to see. 3 days from now, you're all invited to Hillcroft Estate for my wedding to Lydia." Lydia flushed, triumph glittering in the eyes she pinned on me as if she were crowing. "See? You were never my match." Lucas looked at me too, expression unreadable. "Serena, the woman I planned to lead down the aisle was you. But you didn't treasure the honor. You fooled around, and the Hawthorne family can't have a lady of the house with a record like that. So the promise I made back then, I can't keep it. You brought this on yourself, yet I still can't forget you." A sigh slipped through his teeth, tasting of bitterness. "We grew up together. I never thought we'd end here, but you assumed I'd always love you and therefore forgave you everything. Serena, you have no heart. Still, I just can't let you go." He mumbled the last line, voice trembling. "You're no longer worthy of being my wife, yet I'm willing to save you a place. If you send the 2 bastards away, I'll take you back." Lydia's understanding and generous. "So long as you stop scheming, she'll tolerate you." I laughed from sheer disgust. How colossal was his ego to think I'd agree to be his mistress. Jealousy flashed across Lydia's face, but she arranged her features into a magnanimous smile. "Sister, this is your final chance. Repent and serve Luke with me. I'll forgive everything." I felt a vein twitch at my temple. 1, I will never give up my children, and I want absolutely nothing to do with CEO Hawthorne. 2, Lydia, drop the hostility. I'm not fighting you for any man. And please drop the fake, sister. The act must exhaust you. 3, I sincerely wish you 100 years of marital bliss and an early baby. Lucas chalked my words up to stubborn pride and softened his tone. "Enough standing around. Let's move to the private dining room. I'll order your favorites from Pearl, Buddha and squirrel-shaped mandarin fish. Quit throwing tantrums, Serena. My patience isn't endless. The live chat comments drifted across the screen. Is it me or has the male lead lost the ability to process human speech? Not just the ML, his mistress and his bros are all allergic to reason. Heart aches for the FL. Stuck in an asylum full of lunatics must be exhausting. It truly was exhausting. Fight them? I was outnumbered. Talk to them? They were unreachable. Phone a friend? Mine lay in pieces. I turned and walked off. Lydia's delighted voice floated behind me. Why is sister leaving? Is she unhappy with your arrangements, Luke? Humph. She's too ashamed to stay. Forget her. We'll dine. Shane can wrap up her favorites and deliver them later. His words carried until I was out of range. I hurried my steps, reaching my cliffside mansion after dusk. Shane was already waiting at the gate. When I stepped out of the car, he set a packed meal on the ground, blocking my path. The Pearl logo glared up at me. Even sealed, the food smelled rich. Take it, I said coldly. He sneered. Miss Vance, you're nothing now but Mr. Hawthorne's mistress. What right have you to refuse him? Pick that up. Stop provoking the boss, or even this handout will vanish. Get lost. I kicked the box aside and walked straight inside. Next morning, an embossed invitation lay at my door, gold stamping, utterly familiar. Must have been Shane's parting gift. Groom, Lucas. Bride, Lydia. I pressed a palm to my forehead. Lucas wanted me at his wedding that badly? Fine, he would get his wish. Hillcroft Estate spreads across almost 15 square miles of land, hemmed by mountains and ocean, a living painting. Once upon a time, my dream had been to hold a fairy tale wedding right there. That dream came true early. The very man who bought the estate presented it to me as a wedding gift. From that day onward, I opened Hillcroft free of charge to any couple in love. One pair each month, chosen by lottery. A quick inquiry revealed an employee had accepted a bribe and quietly gifted the slot to Lucas. I told the manager to proceed exactly as usual, while guaranteeing Lucas a wedding he would never forget. The next 2 days blurred past. On the morning of the ceremony, I arrived with bodyguards. The celebration area sat on a lake island in the middle of the grounds. The guards slipped into the crowd ahead of me. An usher examined my invitation and barred me. Miss Vance, this is a special pass. The bride's instructions: wait outside until the ring exchange is complete before entering. Lydia wanted to teach me manners. I kept walking. He lunged to grab my sleeve. You sure you want to wrinkle a $300,000 couture gown? The figure froze him. He shrank back to his post. Guests thronged the island, chatting business or pleasure. Lydia had felt her eyelid twitch since dawn. Despite ordering the gate blocked, she kept watching for me. The instant I crossed the inner lawn, her gaze snapped daggers. Who is she? That poise is incredible. Stunning, she outshines today's bride. Compliments drifted around me, stealing the spotlight that should have been hers. Lydia ground her teeth and bore down on me. How did you get in here? I lifted a brow. Didn't you invite me? Lydia's voice shot up. I clearly told. Afraid I'll walk in? Or do you think Lucas will call off the wedding the moment he sees me? She choked, complexion darkening. Me afraid of you? I simply don't want you dirtying the sacred aisle, Luke, and I will walk down. Security, throw her out. The 2 guards stepped toward me, recognized my face, and because I'd tipped them off earlier, kept their faces blank. They also ignored Lydia's order to evict me. Ridiculous. Who ejects the owner? When neither man moved, Lydia shrieked. What's wrong with you? I said get her out, right now, Casey. Otherwise pack your lockers and leave. Sam, one guard replied calmly, you're mistaken. We're Hillcroft staff, we don't answer to you. Lydia's cheeks flashed green then scarlet. Ever heard of Hawthorne Group? I'm about to be Mrs. Hawthorne. Insult me and I'll make sure you regret it. Sam, please don't disrupt the ceremony. We have the right to revoke the venue and blacklist Hawthorne Group permanently. That's enough, Lucas cut in, striding over. Making a scene in public. Have you no shame? He lowered his voice. Your upbringing shows its limits. Starting tomorrow, every word you utter reflects on the Hawthorns. Try to act like old money, not a social climbing reject. Seeing him truly angry, Lydia timidly tugged his sleeve. Luke, I didn't mean it. It's just these guards won't listen. Lucas clamped a hand over her mouth, face storm-dark. Watch your tongue. Word is Hillcroft belongs to the Sterlings. Lydia went parchment white. The Sterlings? That's Sterling. Yes. Top of the Eastbrook food chain. Offend them and Hawthorne Group is a bug under their heel. Listening to Lucas give Lydia a crash course on the Sterlings, I couldn't hold back a laugh. Lucas glanced over. Surprise lit his eyes. Serena, you look stunning. Lydia coughed. He startled back to reality. I'm getting married today. Pity the bride isn't you. But you still own the biggest room in my heart. You claim you don't care, yet you came, because you love me. I made a timeout sign, smiling thinly. If that's what you need to believe, fine. I, for one, thank heaven I never became a Hawthorne. I turned to leave just as 2 tiny cannonballs rolled toward me, chorusing, Mommy, Chase Chloe's here. The brightest smile I'd worn in days spread across my face. I crouched, gathering a soft, squishy child in each arm and planting kisses on their foreheads. Chase Chloe, who brought you? Grandma, they answered in unison. Only then did I spot Mom hurrying after them, panting. Little monsters, slow down. I was about to ask why Dad hadn't come when Lucas interjected. Mrs. Vance, is Serena really married? Mom clearly found the question absurd. She'd once thought Lucas promising, but after the fiasco 5 years ago, she loathed him. Yes, she's married, she replied coolly, expecting him to take the hint. Instead, he stepped closer, eyes reddening. Mrs. Vance, don't help her lie to me. We've loved each other for years. Please, give us your blessing. Mom gaped, then snapped. Lost your mind? Today's your wedding to what's her name, and you drag my daughter into it? Shameless. Dreaming in broad daylight. Want my daughter as your mistress? Who dares covet my wife? The voice was quiet, yet every guest heard the command. Live chat comments on the venue's feed exploded. OMG boss-level entrance. Lucas's protagonist aura just vanished. Name tag switched to Pierce. Pierce, my husband, approached with measured strides. He circled my waist, fingers idly tracing possessive circles. Who is he? Lucas demanded, face draining. An answer so obvious, yet he had to ask. I tugged Pierce's tie. He chuckled and bent. I kissed him full on the lips. Cheeks warming, I turned. Meet my husband, Pierce. Lucas's pupils contracted. No. Serena, did he force you? You've always loved only me, right? I'll steal you back. Hatred blazed in his eyes like a dagger aimed at Pierce. Lucas, we ended 5 years ago. Now the only man in my heart is Pierce. I shifted to shield Pierce. He laughed low and tightened his embrace. Good, he's a jealous jar. If his imagination ran wild, I'd pay for it tonight. Lucas froze, then roared. I don't believe it, prove it. Daddy, this uncle's scary like a child-eating monster, Chase whispered, clinging to Pierce's leg. Brother, how many times? No such thing as monsters. Dr. Wong calls this delusional, Chloe declared, finger pointing at Lucas. Pierce smirked. Need proof? Look, Chase and Chloe were mini-clones of him. Any fool could see we were a set. Yet Lucas still stared. Lydia hugged his arm, tears shimmering. Luke, she and her some are ganging up to humiliate you. Will you let her keep trampling your heart? First time anyone's called me some, Pierce drawled. Am I so forgotten in the States? Gasps rippled through the crowd. God, that's Sterling's chairman, the ruthless Pierce. I saw him once, this aura, it's him. So the elegant Ms. Vance is Mrs. Sterling, match made in heaven. Lucas backed away, muttering, impossible, impossible. Until crash, he toppled the 8-tier champagne tower. Stemware avalanched, bubbly rivers soaking the floor, shards flying everywhere. Lucas was drenched head to toe in liquor, a dripping, disheveled mess. You wretch! Are you trying to destroy the Hawthorne family? The group was just handed to you, and the first thing you do is stir up disaster. Get over here and apologize to Chairman Sterling this instant. Mr. Hawthorne felt his heart seize. The moment he turned his back, his son had offended the colossus that was the Sterling dynasty. Chairman Sterling, my boy was too blind to recognize Mount Tai. Please, in your great magnanimity, let this pass. The spine that had been iron straight all his life bent like a bow as he begged Pierce for mercy. Dad, don't beg him. He's nothing but a fraud. Smack! Mr. Hawthorne swung with every ounce of strength, leaving a livid bruise across Lucas's cheek. Insolent cur, on your knees. Apologize to Chairman Sterling and Mrs. Sterling. His father's posture finally shattered Lucas's last self-delusion. His knees buckled, and he knelt before us, eyes burning with humiliation, face the color of cold ash. Chairman Sterling, Mrs. Sterling, I was blind. I offended you both. Please forgive me. Enough. Don't ever let me see you again. I delivered the line coolly, took Pierce's hand, and started to walk away with the twins. My original plan had been to flash my ownership papers right at the altar, slap their faces with the truth, and throw them out of Hillcroft Estate. But Pierce's surprise return had moved the timetable up. Mr. Hawthorne, terrified of the Sterlings, had forced his son to kneel. My goal was accomplished all the same. Now Lucas was nothing but an insignificant clown, and I couldn't be bothered to care what became of him. Lydia threw herself into Lucas's arms, her face a picture of heartbreak. "Luke, you still have me. I'll stay with you forever. Turn around. I'm right behind you." The speakers that had been murmuring piano suddenly crackled with static. The next second, Lydia's own voice blasted through the hall. "Serena? Big deal, she was born lucky, still lost to me." A couple of fake tears and Lucas believed every word while she slunk overseas like a dog. That idiot Lucas really thinks I'm head over heels. If his family weren't loaded and I weren't set on marrying into the Hawthorns, I wouldn't waste 5 years acting. Haha, dying here. He still believes he killed my grandma with his car. I picked him out long ago. I sent her to dive in front of his fender. Find a bigger sucker? Impossible. Lightning might as well have struck Lucas. He seized Lydia's wrist, nails digging bloody crescents into her skin. All that tenderness, all that kindness, was it all a lie? "You bitch, you played me, used me all for money." Lydia wept like a spring shower, shaking her head frantically. "It isn't true, Luke. Serena set me up. Don't forget 5 whole years of us. My love is real." Lucas roared, no longer willing to listen. "You're still laughing at me inside, aren't you? Your puppet. Without your poison, Serena would never have left me." Lydia's wrist felt ready to snap. She struggled but couldn't break free. The malice in his eyes stripped away her mask. She sneered. "Right, you're a first-class fool. If you hadn't won the birth lottery, I'd never have looked twice. I cooed at you for 5 years, feed a dog that long and it learns gratitude. Yet you kept stringing me along while pining to marry Serena. Disgusting, Lucas. Shut it. Shut your mouth." Lucas locked a hand around her throat, madness blazing. Gasping, Lydia scratched at him with her long nails. Desperate, she drove her knee into his groin with everything she had. "Ugh!" Lucas crumpled, veins bulging, and hurled her into the collapsing champagne tower. Shards of crystal sliced her exposed skin. She rolled shrieking, every movement carving fresh wounds. At my signal, security rushed in and pinned the raving Lucas. Why stop them? Dog Eat Dog is entertaining. Pierce squeezed my hand and whispered against my ear. I gave a resigned sigh. I already guessed this exposé of Lydia's true face was his handiwork. "This is where we got married. Let's not stain it." He looked pleasantly relaxed, yet muttered, "As long as you aren't soft on your ex." I laughed under my breath. He isn't worth getting jealous over. Not everyone makes it onto my radar. I knew my wife only has eyes for me. He lowered his head and captured my lips. Mom quickly covered the twins' eyes. "Oops, naughty stuff, Chase Chloe, don't look." At the same time, live chat comments floated up. I remember the original ending. Serena forgave Lucas and they stayed together till old age. He was clearly the male lead. How come he's written out already? A scumbag like that doesn't deserve to be the lead. Maybe the author rewrote it. Pierce and the kids are the perfect match. Help! Can't stop replaying that sweet kiss. Pulling up a tiny bench and waiting for more naughty scenes, haha. Seconded times 1. Seconded times 2. Seconded times 10,086. Pinned down, Lucas suddenly shuddered as if seeing something unbelievable. His eyes glazed, then sparked with a startling realization. "Ha ha ha, I'm the protagonist. I'm the hero of this world." He threw his head back and laughed, strength surging through him as he broke free and rushed at Pierce and me. Bodyguards swarmed, blocking his path. "Pierce, I'm the chosen one, master of this world. Get lost." Swagger restored, he turned to me. "Serena, come here. I can forgive you this once." He can see the comments too. "Leave him to me." Pierce erased the smile he saved for me and looked at Lucas with eyes like sharpened ice. The two men faced off. Lucas, a rabid beast, charged first. Pierce didn't flinch. He lifted a leg and kicked Lucas flying. Lucas scrambled up. Pierce kicked him down again. Up, down, up, down. Lucas lay panting like a dying dog while Pierce's shoe rested on his face. The only man allowed to be Serena's hero is me. Get lost. Pierce lifted his foot, wiped his hand with a tissue, and dropped it onto Lucas's cheek. I blinked. "Honey, you can see them too." "Shoo." He gave a mysterious smile and breathed in my ear. "They say they want naughty scenes." I clamped a hand over his mouth and shot him a warning glare. "Wait till I get you home." But in the end, I didn't handle him. He handled me thoroughly. Next morning, rubbing my sore waist, I nibbled the loving breakfast Pierce had cooked. He casually mentioned that after we left, Lydia taunted Lucas as a beaten cur. In his fury, he slashed her face with broken glass, and the police dragged them both away. The curtain fell on the farce. Not long after, Hawthorne Group buckled under crushing debt and teetered on bankruptcy. Mr. Hawthorne, cursing his unfilial son, struck Lucas from the family tree. Lydia sued Lucas for assault. Lucas countersued Lydia for fraud. Both landed behind bars. I gazed at Pierce's arm around my waist, Chase hugging my left leg, Chloe clinging to my right. A loving husband, 2 perfect kids, warm hearth. What more could I want from life? Thank you for listening to today's story. If you enjoyed it, please like and share with friends. We look forward to your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more unforgettable tales. See you next time.